Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler for you series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there to try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I had Indian food for lunch and now Polish food for dinner. Where else but America? And many other places where I'm sure those combinations exist. But anyway, folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today, though? Happens to be my Space of Variations shirt. Woo, look at it. It's a cool looking shirt. What is Space Variations, though? Space Variations, they are a metal band out of the Ukraine who I became aware of maybe around 2 years ago at the time I'm doing this. They were touring with another Ukrainian band, specifically the band Ginger, who are one of my favorite bands. And it was, kind of a tumultuous time, still a tumultuous time now, but it was definitely kind of a tumultuous time when everything was going on because the Ukrainian conflict was still pretty new at that point in time. So, obviously having two Ukrainian bands, touring around was, kind of a heavy thing. And I think that the audience really sort of connected with both of those bands, and especially Space of Variations, because, they made a very, very sort of heartfelt connection, by talking about the fact that, obviously what's going on over there is just, it's hell, I don't typically get too political on my channel, but, I do want to say I do stand with Ukraine, for whatever that's worth. I do think that they're people worth supporting in their conflict, and I hope it ends soon, But I actually got some videos of their performance that I attended. Those videos are on my channel, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I do think they're incredible. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Polish food, eh? Yeah, about that. So I had some delicious Indian food for lunch, and I was pretty much done eating for the better part of my day. I was maybe going to have some snacks later on, but just a little something. But I had to go get some supplies, and as I was leaving the Walmart by where I live, I noticed that there was a food truck nearby. And said food truck specialized in Polish street food. Specifically, it is a food truck from the I Love Grill and Lemonade Company, which is, I guess they're a Illinois-based sort of food truck and catering company. And they had these things that I just had to get in on. And what are they, folks? It's so large. It is, boom, look up, fuck at that, man. Let's get a thing for the thing while we can. It's so large. Look at it. Look at it be large. Ha 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 ha. What the hell is this super large thing? So, this is one of their XXL, and I apologize for pronunciation, Zapiekanka. Zapiekanka. That's what I'm going with. This is their XXL beef, which I guess is a new one, and it features roasted beef as the primary ingredient. And yeah, I guess a Zapiekanka is like a Polish street food, and it's kind of like an open-faced sandwich. So, and I did want to mention, what with this being a review of a Illinois local establishment, that means that this review and my previous review, because I just got through reviewing their Maezna Zapiekanka, they're going to end up on my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is a playlist for just Illinois stuff. Let's get a... Yeah, okay, man. It's got cheese and looks like maybe some spring onions and ketchup. Ketchup is apparently like a big part of the of this particular dish. So, cool. I like ketchup. And mushrooms too, okay. It didn't state mushrooms, but so just be aware, if you do run into one of these and you're not a fan of mushrooms, thankfully I am. And I do remember, I think, seeing that, because I looked up like the Wikipedia thing. I think mushrooms are like typically a part of it, so So it looks like you got mushrooms, you got ketchup, you got melted cheese, and you got roast beef and some spring onions. You know what that tastes like? That tastes like a good time to me. And one thing I have to give it huge credit for, and I did in the previous review as well, I love their bread. Like, I don't know if they're using the baguettes or whatever they're, normally associated with this, but the bread is fantastic. Like, it's toasted perfectly. It is de-fucking-licious, man. I love the mushrooms. I'm a big mushroom fan. Not everybody is, but I like mushrooms a lot. I love the earthiness from that. I'd be interested to know what ketchup they use. If they're using like a store-bought, or if it's more like if it's something made in-house. I'm going to guess, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, based off the consistency and the sweetness, I'm guessing it's probably a store-bought one. But again, nothing wrong with that. And I could be completely wrong, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. No, I mean, this is super tasty. It's doing everything that the previous one did, but that one had, instead of the beef, it was ham, bacon, sausage, but all the other stuff was the same. So really the only major difference is just the delivery of the meaty savoriness. And I love some roast beef. Roast beef sandwich, one of my favorite things ever. Italian beef sandwich, one of the best things in the history of humanity. And I'm guessing aliens too. We haven't met them yet, but I'm sure whenever the fuck they get down here, if they start, talking some shit like, oh, look at us, we developed interplanetary space, blah, 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 blah. We'll be like, fuck you, bitch, Italian beef. Get back in your spaceship and learn your fucking place. This is super good, man. Now, do I like it more than the other one? That's a little bit hard to say. The other one had a little bit more going on in terms of some of the flavors, because you had basically 3 different pork flavors, all doing something a little bit different. So you had a little bit salty, you had a little bit this, a little bit that. This, however, has the strength of roast beef. I mean, I would say, for me personally, I might prefer this one by a hair. But I could genuinely go either way. I think both are super good. But my penchant for roast beef is such that, yeah. I never would have thought I'd be eating something that's roast beef based with ketchup on it, and that I'd actually be for it. That sounds like something that little kid Brandon would have liked. Not as much adult Brandon. But no, that's really cool. This is one of those things where that's one of the great things about like street food in most places around the world. You look at like a banh mi, it's a whole lot of stuff that on paper you think that's probably going to be ridiculous, and then it's one of the tastiest things you've ever had. And that's kind of what this is. Like, it's a lot of ridiculousness, but it's put together in such a way where everything works really well, and it's just delicious. I already knew I liked Polish food anyway, but this has been a new experience for me, and I am super duper down with these. Like, I know there are 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get this again? Would I recommend it? Absolutely and absolutely. Like, I'm super down with this. Clearly, I'm gushing. In fact, I like these so much, I'm calling this one, as I did with the previous one, I'm calling this one the business. And folks, when I refer to something as being the business, that means that fundamentally it's like a perfect item, right? Like, you could tweak it a little bit, you could do a little bit here or there, but like structurally it's about as good as you're gonna get, right? And these are so good. I mean, I think it's awesome that they're doing the food truck thing and the catering thing. If they ever decide that they want to go over there and put down roots and, have like a brick and mortar location, I would absolutely love to go to said location and just sit down and like multiple friends and just like pig the fuck out on their menu. Both of these are both of the Zapiekankas that I've had from them are fantastic. I know that they have other stuff. I wish I should have got some of their lemonade, since I know that's like part of their whole deal. But yeah, and if I'm recommending it, I mean, I genuinely, like I said, I think you could flip a coin between this one or the other one. About the only things I could see maybe putting some people off would be the ketchup, because it is ultimately it's ketchup. Some people don't dig it. And then the other thing is the mushrooms. But for me, I think it's fantastic, and I think if you go into it knowing what to expect, there's no reason why, if you think you're going to love it, you're probably going to love it. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there themselves a truly Zapiekanka XXL-tastic rest of your life, because what a world that we live in, right? You think about the fact that it's like, the plague and like, we had like the Black Death and like, like hordes of barbarians and all this crazy shit. Like, and yeah, there's still lots of problems in life. No two ways about it. But then, like, there are such wonderful things, too. So, final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what if you ever had an Italian beef? Have you ever had Polish street food before? That's a much more appropriate question for this. If so, what have you had and did you like it? Do you like Polish food in general, or is it maybe just not a cuisine for you? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments.